Travis Wayne Goodsell. So, the Book of Mormon tells us right from the very beginning that it is supposed to be interpreted in the learning of the Jews, language of the Egyptians, which means it is not Christian. Jesus is not our Christ, because the Book of Mormon is the keystone of Mormonism. And so if you're perpetuating the lie that Mormonism is Christian and that Jesus is the Christ, like the leaders of the church do, especially the president, who insists on frequently repeating the name Jesus, they are lying to you. They are false prophets. They are deceiving you. And their intention is to harm you. And if you deny this, if you attack me, even if it's just the thumbs down, along with the one who always puts a thumbs down on my videos, then you are complicit in their racism, sexism, bigotry, anti-Semitism, anti-Book of Mormon, anti-Joseph Smith, neglect of the poor, etc. You are the enemy. And so there are prophecies in scriptures about the destruction of the great and abominable church. And as much as it's a fad nowadays, as we're in the latter days, to make up claims of what's going to happen, as there are so many people who are prophesying in the political realm, in sports realm, in any kind of award show. Oh, no, so-and-so's gonna win it all. You watch, I'll bet ya. Okay. It's illegal to bet, though, in Utah. Well, the church does betting through insurance companies and pyramid scams and protection rackets. So it must be okay. Yeah, there are those who also come out with predictions, prophecies for the latter days and the millennium. I had received 2 comments today, one of which was that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will be arrested for treason. And so I replied, do you have insider information that I don't know of? Because I have reported to all federal government agencies, and they've ignored me. So, yeah, it would be great, but our federal government is complicit with the church's crimes to overthrow America. And I got another one from Kenneth, or Ken Nance. I don't know if it's one word or if it's 2 words put together for his channel name, but regardless. He goes on a whole detailed graphic thing, not a general claim. See, when Mormons disagree with me, they'll say, "You're wrong, you lie, you're Korahor. Jesus is true, he's Lord, he's the Christ, he's coming, you're going to be in trouble." But nobody is able to have civil discourse, as Nelson ordered Mormons to do. They continue to disobey Nelson after conference. And that goes for that one person who puts a thumbs down on every video. You are a disobedient Mormon. But to be detailed, to show your work, instead of just giving me conclusions that are clearly absurd and ridiculous and make you sound crazy, I got a long paragraph here of some detailed stuff that I'm going to share with you because I found it amusing. He starts off with, "We are so enthralled in our own soap opera politics, we are not even paying attention to the serious threats abroad." Yeah, stop listening to Fox. Fox News is not telling you that they are being sued by Dominion voting machines and they're getting their butts kicked by them. Fox is destined to lose a whole lot of money and possibly be criminally charged for what they've been doing. We've got tampering in elections. We've got misinforming the public, inciting to violence, inciting to crime. And so if you're an avid Fox News viewer, like the elderly lady that I saw and chatted with on the bus last week, oh dear God, she was incited to racism and hatred. And she's an elderly woman. Do you know how disgusting it is to hear an elderly woman be racist, sexist, bigoted, anti-Semitic, neglecting the poor? It's just disgusting. So, by the way, this comment was from my President Russell M. Nelson to announce national divorce for conference. It was one of my top videos this time around, and had broken the top 5 with the other one about the church changing the name for the millennium. But this is how the enemy works, and Kennance is unfamiliar with this tactic. It's from The Art of War. It's a whole bunch of different tactics being thrown at America all at once. And the first that he's downplaying is that of the division in America. This division is inciting us to civil war, the national divorce. Or an uprising, against the deep state Dems, or, another Pizzagate, but on a larger scale. Black Lives Matter protest retaliation, or defense of Trump. All of those are purposely designed to incite the people to violence, to rise up and attack other American citizens. And this is working. We've seen a rise of hate crimes since 2016. Technically since 2015, when he announced for president. And so our government are playing this political soap opera which is endangering America. We have a debt crisis, not just Ghana, that the church is preying upon. We aren't dealing with the debt ceiling. And our government is about to collapse and forfeit on our debts. And nobody is taking this as seriously as it needs to be who are in the positions to do something about it. We're being held hostage by the GOP in the House. And he's completely unaware of this because he's watching Fox News. And Fox News viewers who support Trump and GOP and the inverted pentagram of the elephant since Nixon campaign buttons don't like it when I talk about them. They're grateful that I expose the church as being evil, but they tell me to shut up when it comes to their party. You can't get it both ways. You can't tell me to be silent. It's my First Amendment right to warn you of the dangers, no matter what source they come from. The church is working with the GOP, and yes, even the deep state Dems, to overthrow our government. The government are the ones in position to do something to help our government, and they're not. And the church has been involved in tampering with our government to make sure that they don't save our government. Let that be clear. The Respect for Marriage Act is one of the latest examples. It got passed only because of the church's exemption clause. That's it, that's all. Because those GOP senators would never have voted for it without it. And that was put forward by Mitt Romney under orders of the church. And so, yes, there are serious threats abroad as well. It's the divide and conquer. Plus, you divide the president with so many problems at home and abroad that he's likely to prioritize and let some things go. And that's what our enemies are hoping for, is that he won't deal with every single one of the threats, that he'll let some go. And then the other threats that he didn't let go, they keep pushing those threats, pushing the boundaries, to see if they can let those go through too eventually. So this is the tactic. Don't be naive in thinking that we're not at war, that our government is not in jeopardy. He then goes on to say the US, Canada, and all of Western Europe are on the verge of financial collapse. Yeah. The LDS Church has been buying large quantities of gold and silver since 1971. Maybe. It would have been nice to know of a reference to this, because now I have to figure it out, and I'm not going to go searching for it. We do know that the stock market has been a major player for them to obtain wealth, with the interest from all sources of revenue, not just tithing. But that has not been disclosed. Only the tithing from Ensign Peak Advisors has been disclosed. Everything else, church doesn't disclose. Many of the temples that have been built will be LDS government buildings when the church takes over temporal affairs of North America, Western Europe, Australia, Japan, and New Zealand. No. Unless you're talking about theocracy. But no, we saw this with their exemption clause. They are exempt from following the laws of the United States. And so they can discriminate and refuse services and goods to anyone they disapprove of. This is what their intention is for Zion, is that only those who they approve of can live here in Zion and work and shop in Zion. Everybody they disapprove of, get the hell out. And this is what they're setting up for. And then the video I did the other day about the Washington Post exposing about the church's holding back of the Great Salt Lake water to purposely cause the drought. And so what they do is that once they own Utah and Idaho and Arizona and Nevada and Wyoming and Colorado, and they then can claim This is all religious property, which, yes, theocracy, it's also government property. And therefore, get out. And so, it's not a matter of them just saying, okay, those of you who want to continue to be your religion, who want to be of certain secular practice, you feel free, we give you your agency. No, you have to be Mormon. If you are not Mormon, get the hell out, or be executed for crimes. This is what they're doing. But the fact that they're building temples, especially under Nelson, with over a dozen temples most years, most conferences, that's a land grab. These are the latter days. Governments are going to collapse. When they collapse, the ones with property become the leaders. And so when the church says, hey, we've got property, we've got wealth, we'll take care of you, then the nations around the world become tributary to the headquarters here in Utah, to the church. That's just how they're planning on doing it. And so the land grab is for that purpose. And notice, Putin has not given the church land. They took their money and used it for war in Ukraine. They used it to hack America through their computers, through the internet. So pay attention to that. The church is working with Russia to overthrow America. Salt Lake City will be the capital, and headquarters. Yeah, we already knew this. Nelson has already declared it. He declared Salt Lake City is Zion. The U.S. is failing as you speak, and Xi Jinping is planning the invasion of Taiwan. Yeah, that. Now. Oh, no. Okay. And the occupation and control of the South China Sea. And apparently they've been picking on Australia. I don't know what they want with Australia, but yeah. But yeah, once America falls, boom, all these other wars are going to break out. Putin, boom, go after the European West. And he won't be afraid to drop the bomb in order to start the war, to get it going, to get an advantage. China going in and occupying Taiwan because America is ruined. So there will be no president to stop them, to command the army and military services. This is what they're all setting up in motion for. And if you're wondering why they didn't do it under Trump, because Trump would have just let them do it. He would have helped. It's because of the timing. They've been plotting this for 200 years, if you've not been paying attention to my videos. So that's why. Adam-on-Diamond and Missouri is a diversion. Yeah, I've done the videos. It's the secret headquarters of the Danites, which is code for this attack and the timing of the attack. With election frauds even. Because that's what happened at Adam-on-Diamond in 1838. They got Joseph Smith fraudulently locked up in Liberty Jail. Because he was not there, as the Danites forced the judge and the sheriff to sign documents claiming that it was Joseph Smith that was in charge of it all. And thus the extermination order. It's the Danites who were the cause of it. And the secret headquarters was Adam-on-Diamond. And we know this because they spelled Amen wrong. The Midwest will be burned by war from the air to ashes. Not by nukes. At that time, there will be a great division in the church. There's already a division. You've not been paying attention. ABC 4 News, or I think it was ABC 4 News that I have the clip for, that I got from somebody. Yeah, Thinker of Thoughts, maybe. I don't think it was New Name Noah. It was a news clip back in 2012 about how the church has lost 10 million members. Just gone. And so this increasing slowly over the last several years and gone this year thanks to the videos I did that included my brother. And then my brother was threatened by the church to have me take those down. And now, because he failed, the church is refusing to post the membership stats. But, it's all a scam. These Mormons who are leaving are like me. We don't go to church. We don't pay tithing. We don't participate. We don't do anything. We're just out. And yet we're still counted because the church has our membership records. And the church is using those membership records for insurance fraud and tax evasion and and scams with other countries to build temples, because they're not accurately presenting the assets of the church. Members are assets. We are chattel. That was decided in the Articles of Incorporation by Heber J. Grant in 1923, when he reincorporated the church that had been destroyed by the United States of America with the Edmunds-Tucker Act of 1887. And so there's already a great division in the church. Those who stay in the church now are the most corrupt Mormons. And that's why the news is talking about Mormons who are murderers and thieves and sexual deviants, criminal sexual deviants, is because of the church retaining the goats and losing the sheep. It's supposed to gather the sheep, separate out the goats for the latter days. Did you catch that? And a short but violent war. The Book of Mormon does talk about the church warring within itself. He doesn't seem to indicate that that's where he gets it from. Let's go over that for you. It's about the fall of the great and abominable church. Great and abominable fall. Alright. Shall turn upon their own heads. Yeah. 1 Nephi chapter 22. Let's see. Bring them out of captivity. Be gathered together in the lands of their inheritance. Mormons are being disobedient. They're refusing to be led out of captivity by the man like Moses, who was their Christ. They're brought out of obscurity, mighty one of Israel. And the blood of that great and abominable church, verse 13, which is the whore of all the earth, shall turn upon their own heads, for they shall war among themselves, and the sword of their own hands shall fall upon their own heads, and they shall be drunken with their own blood. And then talking about the Church of the Lamb, not the Great and Abominable Church. These are the ones who broke away, which is nobody except for my followers who... Hi guys. You're it. You're the Church of the Lamb. There's just no official organization, and we don't have enough to build Zion. And every nation shall war against the Church of the Lamb, shall be turned one against another, and they shall fall into the pit which they dig to ensnare the Church of the Lamb. And all that fight against the Church of the Lamb shall be destroyed. And the great whore, who hath perverted the right ways of the Lord, yea, that great and abominable church, shall tumble to the dust, and great shall be the fall thereof, fall of it. And the day that shall burn as an oven. And this is the bicentennial year of that vision, second vision of the day that shall burn as an oven. This is the year. This is it. This year. From the Book of Mormon. That's the prophecy. They got it from William Morgan, who infiltrated their organization and found out their plot. Got the dates and the times and the different techniques that they were going to use, and they encoded it in the Book of Mormon as stories, prophecies, and has been reinterpreted as literal history by Brigham's Great and Abominable Church. And then telling us that no man knows the day or the hour. No, you don't know. Nope. Despite the clear star date given by John in Revelation, we don't know. And the less clear all over other scriptures, but we know that it's the same date because John in Revelation was very clear and graphic. But here's some interesting things. BYU and West Provo will become a military installation. Now, I know down south, Brigham Young set up a fort to defend against the defending inhabitants of this land that he had murdered to establish his kingdom. But, I don't know if he's trying to claim that the church is going to redo that again. The church is going to have to set up a wall. I mean, the mountains are one thing, but we have roads now that go through. There'll have to be border guards and all that stuff instituted to protect the capital. But the only money that will be legal will be LDS banknotes. No. Are you not Mormon? Seriously? This is how you think it's going to be? What's the law of consecration in the temple? Number 5. Loyalty to the church. And is it still kingdom? New name Noah. Where's that video? Did Nelson change it this year? I need to know. Is it a cover-up, or is it still in there? The church and kingdom. That's what we have to sacrifice for. That's what we're supposed to divorce our wives as the loophole in the law to remarry other women for polygamy under the new law of chastity with Nelson. He's ordering it. So the law of consecration, that's the economic system. Slavery. You get what you need so that you can continue to go back to work for the church. It's a slave system. It is not the Book of Mormon system that they recommend. After condemning priestcraft, he goes on to explain how the economy should be set up. No money. Because once you include money, you get corruption. You'll have poor and rich. And so in order to eliminate that inequality among man, you have to eliminate monetary system of economy. And so I've already published how the economy is supposed to work under that Book of Mormon system. I already know how to have it set up. To vote, drive, or own a gun, there won't be voting. It's a theocracy. What are you thinking? You see, you're talking about a theocratic government, and then you say there's going to be voting? What is wrong with you? There is no voting in the church. Why do you think there's going to be voting in Zion? Oh my God. Drive or own a gun. No, nobody will own guns. The church will see to that. They must protect themselves. They're the only ones with the guns. If you have a gun, they'll take it from you and murder you. You will not be allowed to have guns. But yeah, the temple recommend. That's how the economy will work. You cannot live here. You cannot work here. You cannot buy or sell, which everything goes to the church, and you get what you want under the law of consecration. But you must have a temple recommend, which means everything goes to the church in order to be worthy. And so, 1984, Handmaid's Tale, maybe. That's more for the polygamy side of it, but there will be child brides. The church wants child brides again. That's why it's so disgusting when Nelson did that singing performance for Christmas with Claire. Can't think of her last name. The beautiful little girl singing Gethsemane. It brings me to tears, but it was creepy when Nelson's all cuddling up to her, and for the parents to just stand by and go, oh crap, what church have we gotten involved in? So yeah, that's when you have to see what the church is doing, because I've been explaining it for you, what they've been doing. This will help you understand what Zion under their control will be like. You can't make stuff up and claim that you're right. You know, you have to have some basis in reality to make your claims. And to mingle truth with your will just doesn't cut it with me. But it was amusing, especially the BYU and West Provo thing. And so, yeah, this is why I do my videos. I expose the church's crimes, and in exposing their crimes, I reveal what they are plotting and how Zion will be set up. So when I tell you that they're purging us here in Utah, that's what they're doing. And so I can make the statement that you have to have a temple recommend to live here and work here and exist here because of what they're doing. You know, to purposely cause the drought, to purposely cause the housing crisis, the homeless crisis, the other crises, to pay Russia to start the war, to pay Russia to hack America. Yeah, these are all things that you need to be paying attention to. You need to be taking this seriously. This isn't some little fantasy football thing that you get to place bets on. This is real, and it's going to affect you personally. And those you love, assuming you love people. I would hope so. But we witnessed during a creeping death incident worldwide that people really don't love their neighbor, let alone their family members. As a certain news organization spread the lies. But they were right about the lab leak. The boy who cried wolf. That's who they are. So when they come out and tell us the truth, nobody wants to believe them. Alright, that's it.